All right, hey guys, we're coming up on the end here. We made it to Abyss as always. Well, I guess not as always, but this time around we still have good friend of the channel, Prussia. You want to say hi?
Howdy.
And unfortunately, due to like my inability to schedule things out properly, Ollie is not here. But it's okay. We got a replacement for Ollie. You want to say hi, Sam?
Hey guys, I'm Ollie's replacement.
Yeah, he was
Ollie
here
now.
for Uma, right? So
Yep.
he's been around. Yeah, good TCG history, top 8 at Toronto for set 1 regionals and all that. So, and a very fun training partner. But yeah, besides
fun LCQ.
yeah. Outside of that, though, as always, we want to say thanks to the Shadowverse Evolved Discord community. They provided these translations so that content creators and players like us that want to see ahead and possibly play the cards have translations. So I'm going to give a shout out to the 4 people who manage this. I'm going to probably script the names, so I'm sorry in advance. First person, Nova Starlight, who's the one who originally reached out to me about this. Bebek Pecking, the other one, Litnum, and then Doraemon 5370, but is named Local Barbarous Simp on Discord. Hopefully I said that correct this time. I don't know why I was so in trouble with that name. But yeah, I guess we'll just jump right into it. So we're on to Abyss. I'll start, and then we'll just do Pressure. Then Sam, you can read the last one, and we'll keep rotating like that. First things first is Dark Alice. It's a 6-drop 6/6 follower, Demon and Fable. Has Rush, Strike. Each opponent discards a card. Last word, banish the top 10 cards of your deck. Put this card onto your field and discard a card. So this card is probably, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say it's the best, but it's a very good card in this set for Abyss. It kind of like has a weird purpose where it works in like every type of deck. Like this could be a card that helps you in control because you get the discard control archetype for Abyss is here. It has Rush, so you can immediately come out and remove something. The last word part of it too is really big, which means that you can just constantly recycle this as long as you're willing to banish the top 10 cards of your deck and discard a card to play this out again after it gets removed. So it's really, really annoying on that front of the deck. And one thing to note too is that the discard a card part isn't actually part of the cost. It's part of the effect. So even if your hand is 0 cards, this card can still come back without discarding a card, which means this card is also a pretty solid aggro card as well, because it comes out, it's a body that keeps returning itself as long as you can pay the 10 banish take the top 10 cards of your deck and banish it to bring it back over and over again, and hopefully you win the game before you just deck yourself out that way. So if you're a very low to the ground aggro, this could be a potential like top end card, I guess. I think that's all I have really to say on it. You guys have anything?
Yeah, I really like this card. I think it's a really cool design. I do think it ends up being a little too costly for its effect. I think that discarding a card from your hand and banishing top 10 cards from your deck is a huge cost. I think if the discard part was not in the effect, I think this card would be fine. I just think for Abyss, the deck is really inconsistent, and I don't really see this helping like that issue. Like, yeah, it's cool. Like Kit said, it's cool in aggro, it's cool in control, it's cool in mid range. But if you never find it, it doesn't matter. And also, even if you do find it, if it gets banished, it doesn't do anything. And just like a 6/6 sticking around forever is like not too amazing in this game. So I think it's cool. I think you're gonna see it a lot. I just think the cost is a little too much.
Is this better than Rico though? Like 6 mana for 6/6?
It's okay. It's better in compared to Rico, I think, in the sense that if you're playing the low to the ground, I'm rushing my opponent. Here's a bunch of 1 and 2 drops, and then I top deck this with a no card hand, and then like I'm recycling this. Because if they remove this on their turn, you just use the last word effect, banish 10, it comes back, and then you could swing directly at them next turn. I think it's better in that sense. It's kind of like has good utility overall. So like when you have a no card hand, it's going to be a very good card in that sense. But I think in the later game control wise, like it's not always going to be as good as Rico. I think Rico is probably just outs this card better. like maybe in vacuum, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, he can be bounced and stuff. Like, it's pretty unrealistic for it to really. I wish it would have said like when this card leaves the field. I think then it would have been really sick. But just the meta we're in, it's gonna get bounced. It might get banished because Haven is relevant. Not that the deck plays a lot of banishes, but you just have to be aware of it. And all it really is a 6-mana 6/6, and it has the same Rico issue where they have to have cards sideways for it to really do the strike effect. So I don't know. I think I'm pretty down on the card, but I think it's a pretty nice card for Abyss in general.
Yeah, honestly, if Abyss ever gets a card like that sword one where you go like, less than 5 or 10 cards in deck and you just win, this would be amazing, but one day.
Imagine cross crap with that. Let's go. No.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I think we kind of wrap that up. We'll move on here, Russia.
All right, Masquerade Ghost, 4 mana 4/4 undead. Evolve for 1. Whenever a ghost enters your field, it gets +1 attack. On evolve, has the same effect. Whenever a ghost enters your field, it gets +1 attack. And then it also has an effect whenever a ghost leaves your field. Put a gargantuan ghost into the field. And then last words, put this card into your EX area. Gargantuan ghost, I'm just going to discount double check, is a 3/3 ward. At the start of your main phase, banish this card. So not the start of your end phase. So this sticks around. I think this card is just really bad because it doesn't summon a ghost itself. You have to at least have another card that does something that summons a ghost or something. And we'll see. We kind of get rewarded for playing ghost stuff here in a couple cards, but this is the main payoff, and I don't really think the payoff is good enough because at the minimum, this card is like 5 or 6 mana because you probably have to play a ghost somewhere from your EX area, from like the Dullahan or something like that, and it just is a little awkward. And like I said in the last card, Abyss is already probably one of, if not the most inconsistent class. It does not have a lot of draw, so playing cards that you have to combo with other cards to be useful, I don't think is good at all.
It's probably like more likely than not, it's like a turn 7 play because you play this, you play the spell that summons for Ghost, right? And then you evo this. Yeah, Phantom Howl, and then you use the Evo point or something to like evo this so you can get the maximum value. And like those turns probably feel absolutely amazing, but outside of that, I think pressure hit all the issues with the card.
Yeah, it's a combo card.
Oh, I forgot to show the Evo. Here's the Evo. Anything else heading?
Does the last words like make it more relevant at all? That it gets I guess the base card gets put back into the X area so that you lose the Evo as well.
Yeah.
It would be relevant if he like on fanfare summoned a ghost or something,
Yeah, if only.
Because it's like for a card like this to be good, he has to be self-sufficient, and he's not at all.
Yeah. It's very cool though, the Ghost archetype getting a little bit more support here. All right, next card. Sam.
All right, so Odal, Black Swan. So strike, deal 2 damage to each enemy leader and enemy follower on the field. Pretty sweet. And on fanfare, also deal 2 damage to each enemy leader and enemy follower on the field. With Necro Charge 20 getting Storm. I do believe this card actually becomes way easier to play later on in the meta, so that's something to watch out for. But if Necro Charge 20 were like possible within, the first like turns 5 to 7, I think this card would be pretty cracked. But in the current card pool, I don't know if that's even possible. What do you guys think?
20 is really rough. Like, I talked to Ollie about this card because Ollie is also a believer in this card. Literally, I think the text box is just so good on this card.
Yeah, but it doesn't have rush.
Yes, exactly. So. I was going to say, if it had an extra line of text that said at 10 Necro Charge you gain rush, at 20 against Storm, this card would be busted and super good, and I think we'd see it a lot. But outside of that, not being able to naturally give it rush somehow, even like through an Evo or something, the card becomes a lot less harder to play. It's very nice that Abyss, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not a lot of like board wipe type of cards in Abyss, right? So this
That's
is
fair.
this is one of the ways where you can like kind of clean up a bunch of followers, but not having the extra strike to make it like a pseudo John is pretty rough.
Yeah, so I think this is definitely a card. If you like it, pick it up and hope that Abyss gets some mill cards in the future. Because I think this card would be like amazing if you can hit Necro Charge 10 by like
Or
sometime in
20,
the
yeah.
first 7. Yeah, oh yeah, 20.
Yeah, I think this card is every time in the history of the game in Japan so far, every time this card is close to relevant, like oh we get some mill stuff off the top, or oh we're getting more Necrocharge stuff. There's always a better card than it, which is a little
Uh,
sad. You always see it. You always see it like oh one or two of because whoa we might get to 20, but it's still just like you Necrocharge 20 is like impossible. Like it's not realistic, you know.
yeah, it's
And when
assuming
it
like
does
7
become
centimeters.
realistic, yeah, when it does become realistic, there's cards you are playing that are better than this, and that's why you're like, okay, we're getting to 20, you know. So cool card, cool, design. But I don't think this card will really be competitively playable, I should say, because at
Yeah,
some point it's going to be playable because you're going to be able to get to 20 very. Uh, 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 I don't want to
efficiently.
say faster, but just more realistic to get to 20. But it's still not going to be the best Necrotribe 20 card.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely a lot better milling cards that we'll be seeing, in like BP 06 and 7, so
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I think one of the big things too, before we move on from this card, is like the payoff for Necrocharge 20. It has to like basically win you the game on the spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So that's why
it
like
dies to
7
breath.
centimeters ahead or whatever it's called in English is like it's very hard to get the Necrocharge 20 basically. But if you get there and you play the card, usually most of the time you're put into a position where you've won the game.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's why
exactly.
that card is very good, and this card isn't as like comparable at the 20 Necrocharge. All
Yeah,
right.
and
it
it's the
just
same mana cost too.
Yeah.
yeah, it also just dies to breath for no reason. Like I don't know why this isn't a 6/5. A
Don't
That's a
say
six,
good
yeah.
that.
point.
Like
All
it just
right.
died. Like it just yeah.
Next card here, Demonium, Punk Devil. I hope I said that correctly. It's a 2-drop 2/3 with Ward. It's a demon traded. Last word, give your leader +2. Act, give your leader -2. Give this follower Bane. This ability can activate it once per turn. This card is incredibly cracked and like probably going to be one of the best 2-drops for Abyss for quite a while, I assume. I assume it's still probably seeing play. It does a lot of things that you want. One, it's like randomly has Ward for some reason. It also randomly gives you 2 health on death because I guess the ability itself, if you need something to get removed, you just, if this lives cross turn, you're just like, all right, I'll take the 2 damage, crash this in, I get my 2 health back, and I removed a big creature. Like, is there anything else worth adding?
Yeah. I think in a vacuum, this is the best 2-drop in the entire game so far. Like this card just
Wow.
has like 2 lines too many of text. Like the
Over
fact that
average, eh?
you the fact that you like you don't even get punished for taking 2 damage for the Bane because you get it back on last words. And if you don't care about getting Bane, you just get 2 more health. Like this card is just so absurdly strong, but it is in like one of the worst classes, so it's not. If this thing was in Sword,
Yeah, it's
like,
Oh
that'd be
yeah.
like
what
I'd be rocking.
one thing to note too, like you just randomly get 2 health back. You got to also remember too, this has Ward, which means it's
Yeah, that's
protect.
Ward. I
It's
don't know why.
not only are you like getting a heal too, it's gonna block something or at least eat
Yeah.
up a spell, right? So it's just good.
Yeah. And actually, are there going to be more effects in the future that activate off you taking damage? It could be very well
Yeah, but
happen.
like they're like yeah, they are. It's a fact that there are going to
Yeah.
Yeah.
be.
But yeah, I guess none good enough to
Yeah,
push this
yeah.
card into broken territory.
There's none good enough that like because you're playing this card in every deck anyway. Like like
That's
it's
true.
not like
All right, next card here.
alrighty. Baccaris Peppy Ghosty, 1 play point 1/1. This card is also treated as a ghost. Evolve for 1, and then fanfare. If there's a gargantuan ghost in your field, draw a card. And then on evolve, it is still treated as a ghost. And then last words, put this card in the EX area. More ghost support. It's just I don't know. It's just terrible. Like all these ghost cards are not self sufficient. Like they're
Oh, it
just
doesn't even have Storm.
no. It's just a 1 mana 1/1 that if you got your Masquerade Ghost in the the least consistent class. You draw a card. Whoa, this could have said draw 3 cards. Actually, it should have said draw 3 cards, so there's a reason to play the deck,
Yeah.
It's a
Alright.
very cute card. Yeah.
And it does
definitely.
nothing on Evo. It just puts itself back in like, what is this card? Like, what is this card? And it's a gold. Sitting next to
Oh, no.
Demonium. Come on now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything here. You got anything else with adding?
It's unfortunate that this is a GR.
Yeah. All right, on to the silvers here.
All right, we got Demon Maestro. Ooh, a demon. All right, activate. Give your leader -2 HP. Draw a card. Can only be activated once per turn. For 2 mana though? What do you guys think? At least he doesn't tap himself for this.
They must have thought Blood Pact was the most broken card in Digital ever, because they are staying so far away from Blood Pact. I don't know. This card is like, I don't know. Like, what are you supposed to do with this card? Like, it's like, why does he take 2? It should be like 1. I don't know. I think this card's terrible. 2 mana, 1/1.
If it comboed with something, I'd say like this would be good, but it doesn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, like, this card's like almost missing like an extra like line of text where it's like last word, like heal 1 or something on death. Like, it's like almost like, why would I play this in particular when like what's that card, the amulet in set 1, like essentially does the same thing, yeah, and like makes it easier on you to activate your Singuin if we're really going down that route.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this card just doesn't seem amazing. Like if it one thing to note though, if they did not have that once per turn text on there, at some point this card would have been broken, like for some combo deck where I'm going to take 15 or 16 damage here so I can draw 8 really quick to find my combo piece. But yeah, outside of that, like, card seems not good at all.
Yeah, exactly. And for 2 mana, I think it doesn't do enough. It's pretty unfortunate.
Ooh, if this was a 1-drop though, maybe this would be like a really good premium 1-drop. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In what deck though?
Aggro, right?
Aggro, no way you're playing a 1-mana 1/1 in aggro. There's no way.
I mean, it draws your cards, so it replaces itself, lets you have a turn 1 play. It's not going to be like.
Yeah, but Bellringer replaces itself.
Yeah, but Bellringer doesn't swing for 1. Let's go. No.
Like, get the extra damage in.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. Either way, it's worlds that don't exist right now.
I think the Singuin is relevant in pure aggro, but yeah, it doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving.
All right. Trombone Devil, 5-drop 4/4 follower demon, evolve for 1. At the start of your end phase, if Singuin is active for you, select an enemy leader or enemy follower on the field and deal it 3 damage. Evo form here. On Evo, deal 1 damage to each leader, so it activates itself. This was a 4-drop, right? I said
it's a 5-drop.
Oh, 5-drop. Okay, I don't like this card at all. It's like 5-drop plus you have to activate Singuin, so you have to hurt yourself to get like 3 storm damage essentially. Like, I'm not a huge fan.
What's the Magic format where you can only play like bronze, like low rarities?
Oh, Pauper, but technically
this would not be played in Pauper.
Oh,
it's so bad. This card is so bad.
I mean, at least on Evo, he activates himself, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he's the first like self-sufficient card we've seen, I feel like.
Yeah, the cost. Yeah, you're right. The cost doesn't make it worth it.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone playing this.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Furtive Things, 1 play point fairy tale card and beast card. Choose one of your followers for the rest of this turn. It gains strike. Choose an enemy follower, deal damage to it equal to this card's attack. I think this is like kind of a cute card. I don't think it's just completely terrible. I think it works, of course, with Dark Alice because they're both Fable cards. I don't think this is worth like a deck slot though most of the time. And for some reason it only lasts for this turn. Like I don't even think if it was lasted forever it'd be that good either, so I don't know. I don't think this will ever really be played, but it's not a terrible card.
It's like a worse roach effect.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a cute card. Probably doesn't see a lot of play, if ever.
yeah.
Next card.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah, Pumpkin Necromancer. Ooh, more Necromancers. Put a Gargantuan Ghost into your X area, so not as good as the other Necromancer. Great. Yeah, considering how the Gargantuan Ghost works, I'm not sure this is even good. Doesn't push damage. Um, doesn't have rush. Not enough extra text, I would say.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
much does it cost to play Gargantuan Ghost? Is it
One.
a one
It's a 1
cost?
mana 3/3. It's Arden. Yeah.
Okay, so just like it's like a 1 mana. Yeah, oh yeah, it's Arden. So like,
Yeah, you know what? If Nether Charge could count like tokens that died, I would say like a lot of these token cards would be much better, but it doesn't. So
yeah.
yeah, the value we're getting here isn't worth it.
Well, more ghost support for you guys that love ghosts.
I am really thinking about this card though, because it generating like a 1 mana 3/3, is that relevant in, like, I don't know, you'd never play this in aggro, right? Because the main body is just a
Yeah,
3/3.
the main body
Yeah.
sucks. It doesn't play towards the aggro game plan really.
Yeah.
It's more based like a control or a ghost combo card, right? And right
Yeah.
now it doesn't seem like the payoff for ghost is that great. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that 1 mana 3/3 means anything. Now, if that 1 mana
Yeah.
3/3 was like randomly sticking around and not just banishing itself,
Yeah.
that's like, ooh, this is kind of spicy now. This might
Yeah,
be
this
really
is,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, but
basically 4 for
even
6/6 in mana.
yeah, but even like that Uma 3/3 ward that bounced back to hand, like it's not actually played that much, and this is objectively worse than that. So yeah, I can't see Gargantuan Ghost stuff being that good anyways.
Yeah. All right.
Right, moving along.
Next card here, Parade Raven. Follower departed. Fanfare. Put another follower on the field into your cemetery. Select a follower in your cemetery that costs 5 or less and put it onto your field. Oh, this is 7-drop 6/6. How could we abuse this even? It's just like random, like 1-drop lived cross turn. Oh, I guess you get a ghost, kill the ghost after swinging in, things like
Yeah.
that, right? And get a 5-drop. I mean, what's like the best 5-drop could we be grabbing off of this? What, like Olivia essentially? Is there
Oh,
any
there's
other?
no trait requirement or abyss requirement. That's
Nope.
pretty good then.
Is I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, Olivia's
yeah,
probably the best. I mean, it's probably, you're supposed to like get Masquerade Ghost off this, I think, is like what they want you to do.
yeah.
What other 5 drops? Oh, Kawi. Kawi's pretty
Oh,
relevant.
Kawi's not
That's
bad
pretty
either.
good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Right. Oh, Dio the Black Swan.
Which one?
Oh, the Black
The
Swan
Black
for the
Swan,
20
yeah.
necro charge. Yeah, let's go. Okay. You take
Exactly.
it. You
21
take
in the
yeah,
grave.
and then it's
Yeah.
19. You're like, dang,
Yeah.
misplay.
Yeah.
Mordecai if he ever dies.
Yeah. Like I could see this card. Okay, first of all, in like a sealed format, this card's probably really broken. But outside of that,
Yeah.
in constructed, I can maybe see this as like a random extra one of like as like, oh, here's a 4th copy of Death's Breath that's like a 6/6 body that just requires more work. Like maybe I could see that because like getting a random Olivia on the board, including this like 11/11 with the stats, you can like heal 3, draw a card, and make your opponent discard a card. That's kind of good. Gain an Evo point or something.
Yeah.
Kawi's kind of cool too, like you said, which is just like here's this big body you have to deal with that also heals me now. And that once again, it's like 11/11 worth of stats on the board for essentially, I would say 8 play points usually, unless something lives cross turn. So I could see some okayness of this card, but it's probably too slow, doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah,
The
like this
problem.
breath has way better cards though. Anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead, Pressure.
I was gonna say the problem with that idea is that like the decks where you'd want to do that is like guys aren't sticking around that you want to kill
Yeah.
off, you know. So you don't just randomly, you know, you're not playing Chris or Doulahan in control or whatever where you
Mhm.
just, oh, I have a ghost in my EX area, I guess I can turn this ghost into Olivia. So I don't know. I think it's pretty restricted to like the ghost archetype.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe,
it's definitely playing more. If you're playing this card at all, you're definitely playing more of a control game plan. That's why I think Kawi and Olivia are the first things that come to mind.
Well, but I'm saying, like, I don't think you
Yeah.
can play this.
Having good targets,
Yeah.
Maybe
There's
bats or
definitely not a
something.
lot of good targets for sure. I agree with that.
Well, I don't mean targets from the graveyard. I
No,
mean just
yeah, targets to sack. That's what I meant. Yeah. One thing to note though, like I don't know if this card ever becomes relevant, but I always think people should be always keep cards in mind that don't have restrictions on what you grab. That this is just straight up cost 5. So at some point, maybe there'll be a 5 cost or lower that's like really busted that you want to play as often as possible, and then suddenly this card becomes really really good and constructed.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah, something that it's very difficult to play due to conditions. And you can cheat it out.
Next card here. Think pressure, right?
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Mischievous Zombie, 2 mana, 2/2, evolve for 2. Fanfare, discard a card from your hand, put a ghost into your field. If you discarded an undead card this way, draw a card. On evolve, he chooses a ghost on your field and gives it Bane, and that's it. Y'all really are giving me the draft trash, man. Like, what's going on? Why does he? Why the evolve effects on these cards are so bizarre? Because I don't understand why this costs 2 to evolve. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think they're overcosting the Bane, but you don't want to put Bane on the ghost because you just want to be hitting their face with the ghost. Though.
Yeah,
it's so strange. Like he should be giving himself Bane.
He should be giving himself Bane. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I should be really sick. That would be a pretty nice tech card in aggro.
Yeah, because then you could clear like their ward and hit them
Yeah.
with a ghost. Like
exactly.
It's like ass backwards. How
Yeah.
they structure this or design this card.
They were so scared of ghosts.
They are spooky.
Yeah.
It's true. They do spook me. All right. I think that kind of wraps up this card.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess Devilish Fltist. Yes, flautist, however you pronounce a flute player. So he's a demon. Rush, fanfare, discard a random card, give this follower +1 attack and drain. Oh god, a random card discard. I don't think that's it, bros.
This will never be as good as my boy Demonic Simulacrum. Just never be as good as Demonic Simulacrum. So, I don't think this card is good at all.
I hate this card.
I didn't even know it was random. Yeah, I thought it was choose, and even then it's still bad.
Yeah.
This isn't it. Okay, yeah, that wraps up this card. All right, Infernal Orchestration, spell demon, deal 1 damage to your leader, give +1/+1 to the next flower you play this turn. This is kind of cute for like a Sanguine deck to activate that effect. Random buff. Its card doesn't seem very great, but it's very cute. I guess it combos very well with Dark General and Dark General. Is that just her name? Dark General?
Yeah, just her name.
Yeah. There's like, I guess, combos with Dark General very nicely. I don't know anything else that's worthwhile for this card. You guys can think of anything else?
Maybe a future card. Yeah, it's
maybe like I guess you can like it still costs 2 fucking cards from your hand, so it's like I don't know, but like you could do like this and then Medusa, and she's a 7/7 on 6. I think this card's like terrible. I don't know. I think this card's like unplayable. It sucks that they're giving these cards to the least consistent, least draw power like class in the game. Like this would be good if you're sitting on like 7 cards a turn, but you're like in a deck where you'd want to play this, you have like 3 cards left, and so you spend like 2 cards, and whoops, it's a 1/1. Or with Corcoran Elite, or I mean Dark General, like it's sick. But
I think the problem is a lot of Abyss cards, the Sanguine effects are not 2-for-1 cards. It's usually just like making one card slightly better. So,
exactly.
And as we saw with like Uma, 2-for-1 cards are like extremely strong, or like with Forest as another example. So that's where Abyss unfortunately is falling behind with these as you mentioned, like 2 cards to do this when Sanguine unless Sanguine is like 2-for-1ing you or 3-for-1ing you even, not worth it, unfortunately.
All right, I think that kind of wraps up our Abyss stuff here. As always, thank you for watching and all that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, thank you, Pressure, for joining us. Do you have any shout outs for the end here? Okay, I'm going to take that silence. Oh, he's muted. Is he talking? All right,
Maybe it's
all right, Sam. It's up to you now. Sam, thank you for joining us. Do you have any shout outs?
sure. I guess shout outs to Toronto SVE community and all my bros and friends going to Japan, I guess, for Worlds and all that for both, yeah, White Shorts and Shadowverse. So that's going to be cool to see everyone on stream. And yeah, otherwise enjoying my winter in frozen Canada. And thanks for having me, Kit. It's
Yep,
great to be back.
of course.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us. I appreciate it.
All right, that kind of wraps up this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later, everyone.